good morning. My name is Viren and I'm Director of Blossom Learning Center. So our students are getting very good score in the PT. So if you want to get the same score, you don't need to come us. We will reach to you. So the thing is that we will just send you one type of the particularly format that how our students are working here. I just share with you a routine for a 1 week, that if your exam is after 1 week, I just share with you a 1 week routine and you will get surely very good score if you just go with that. I'll just tell you all the things in that, how many things you have to do and what's the timing for that, and how you have to do all the things to get very good score, that is 90 and near to the 90 score. So for that, if you want to get that routine from us, so please subscribe our channel and send me your particular subscribe screenshot on this particular mobile number जो आपको स्क्रीन पे दिखाई दे रहा है. Just share with me and I'll just send you the routine within 24 hours. I'll just send you that routine. So do it as soon as possible if you want to get the formats and tips and tricks. So I need to be that you just share this particular channel with your 5 different friends, those are doing PT right now, and just share with the knowledge with them as well. So if you just do that, just once again send me the screenshot with the 5 different students on the behalf of your approach. So I'll just share with you the routine, the tips and the tricks as well. So do it as soon as possible if you want to get that score as you just see on the screen. So have a nice day. Bye.
Kenya's Election Commission announced just a few minutes ago that incumbent Uhuru Kenyatta had won Tuesday's presidential election. The opposition, which has accused the results of being rigged, has rejected them. The process, according to an opposition spokeswoman, is a charade. The verbal spat between Washington and Pyongyang over North Korea's nuclear program has alarmed world leaders. North Korea accused President Trump of bringing the country to the brink of nuclear war after he said the U.S. military was locked and loaded. Russia, China, and Germany have all urged restraint and continued diplomatic efforts. We live in a time when miracles and wonders abound. The age of science has been coined, and several parts of our lives that have altered over the centuries have been attributed to science. This is entirely correct, yet it is only one side of the story. On the other hand, as we have progressed in technology, something fundamental to mankind has been left behind. Empathy and compassion for our fellow humans are steadily eroding as a result of the onslaught of our ever-evolving lifestyles, bolstered by the wonders of technology breakthroughs. Take the Internet as an example. However, it has drastically restricted genuine contact with teachers, friends, and elders. However, first and foremost, the US government has released its monthly employment data. It's one indicator of how well the economy is performing overall. The most recent report was for the month of September, and it was a letdown. Last month, economists predicted that 479,000 jobs would be added. According to the US Labor Department, the actual number was less than half of that. It was the second month in a row that the number of jobs created to the American economy was significantly lower than experts had projected, and no one understands why. Many economists continue to be concerned about the coronavirus pandemic and the disease's Delta version. Ordinary public hospitals will also employ computers. A doctor will be able to diagnose the nature of a patient's ailment by connecting a machine to his system. Similarly, machines might be employed to maintain track of a patient's medical history and update it. As a result, doctors will have rapid access to a wealth of information that will aid them in their work. Bookkeepers and accountants could be freed from tedious clerical tasks as well. Machines could completely automate the arduous work of compiling and validating lists or data. Computers are the most efficient servants man has ever had, and the ways they may be exploited to better our lives are endless. The United States claims to have made headway in addressing some of the shipping issues that have clogged the worldwide supply chain. That chain is not under the jurisdiction of the government. Although the Biden administration is largely made up of private port operators, trucking companies, railroads, and warehouses, it is supporting a plan for the Port of Los Angeles to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and for large companies like Walmart, Home Depot, and UPS to ship more goods at night. The Port of Los Angeles in California is one of the busiest ports on the planet, with 40% of all containers shipped to America passing through it, and the Port of Long Beach.
Thousands of ants crawled up the trunk of my prized peach tree last summer, and I spent days in the garden watching them. On a sheltered side of the house, the tree has grown up against a warm well. I'm very proud of it, not just because it has weathered numerous harsh winters, but also because it yields delicious peaches on occasion. During the summer, I saw that the tree's leaves were starting to wilt. On the underside of the leaves, there were clusters of tiny insects known as aphids. They were visited by a large colony of ants, who gathered a honey-like substance from them. I immediately started an experiment that, despite failing to get rid of the ants, kept me busy. The new year is a time for making New Year's resolutions. Most of us could mentally build formidable lists of do's and don'ts. Year after year, the same old favorites resurface with tedious regularity. We pledge to get up earlier every morning, eat less, spend more time with the kids, do 1,000,001 household chores, be friendly to those we don't like, drive safely, and walk the dog every day. Certain undertakings have proven to be beyond our reach in the past. It is only because we have so often experienced the frustration that comes with failure that we continue to be deep-rooted liars. The majority of us fail in our attempts at self-improvement because our plans are too grandiose and we never have the time to put them into action.
He has a kind of naked face, in which you see the brain always working, with an almost painful simplicity just saved from being painful by a humorous sense of external things, which becomes also a kind of intellectual criticism. He is a fatalist, and he studies the workings of fate in the chief vivifying and disturbing influence in life, women. His view of women is more French than English. It is subtle, a little cruel, not as tolerant as it seems, thoroughly a man's point of view, and not, as with Meredith, man's and woman's at once. He sees all that is irresponsible for good and evil in a woman's character, all that is unreliable in her brain and will, all that is alluring in her variability. He is her apologist, but always with a certain reserve of private judgment. A wise man suitably divides his time between work and play wisely. Those who only work or only enjoy do not do justice to themselves, and the people who idle away their time are the terrible sinners. They who waste their time are the guilty of not only themselves, but also of the family, society and the world at large. It is the time when you have to act. Act now, or you will have to repent at leisure that you did not act when it was the right time. Your family, society, country and the world is watching you and looking for your help. Get ready and achieve the highest goals of life. Only then you can justify the time which God has given you. Else, you too would be lost in the crowd of people with no one to remember you. None of the current publicly known man-made aircrafts are completely invisible. These UFOs are peculiar in other ways as well, like they usually involve some sort of exceedingly bright lights. Moreover, there are occasions when electrical equipment has ceased to work while the UFO is in the vicinity, and when the UFO disappears, the electrical equipment start working again as if nothing has happened. No explanation has ever been found for this. Other supporting theories too explains the reasons why these UFOs are from different planets and not from this world. Einstein's theory of relativity claims that to travel between two stars one needs an aircraft with a speed more than that of light. The modern lifestyle has been a source of climatic and atmospheric conditions. The emissions and concentration of carbon dioxide has increased over 30% during the last 30 years, chiefly due to industrial revolution. Rich countries are not willing to reduce these emissions. They argue that they would be faced with acute unemployment and diminishing of modern facilities. But they comfortably forget that if life itself gets wiped out from the earth, what would be the basis of their standing? There is another aspect of the problem. The present dangerous level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is not likely to strike ominously for another 2 centuries, and it is for sure that the present leadership of the world is not going to survive over such a long period. An enabling environment for FDI has several components. First of all, political and macroeconomic stabilities are an absolute prerequisite for any kind of private investment, including FDI. Numerous studies have amply demonstrated that political and economic stabilities, along with the prospect of growth, are the most important determinants for FDI. Only in extreme cases, such as the existence of crucial natural resources, would a foreign investor go to a war zone or where there is rampant inflation. Secondly, a sound policy and regulatory framework and efficient supporting institutions to enforce the relevant laws and regulations are imperative for FDI to enter and thrive.
A postponed action is often a cause of serious misunderstanding and even loss of trust between people. Sometimes, doing a thing at the proper time is done better, saving on time and energy, but delaying it amounts to not only misunderstanding and complication of things, but it can also lead to a loss of trust. A postponed action often requires a person to make excuses and apologize again and again. Nothing such is needed in case the job was done on time. Taking the right action at the most opportune time is very important where relationship is concerned. A wrong action, committed knowingly or unknowingly, should be apologized for immediately.